Right?
Well, that's a look.
I might be off script, but there's only one undefeated team in the country right now. That's Wichita
they're number one
State.
seed.
Yeah. Well, the question I'm just going to pop out there is, everybody's asking the question: are they good enough, based on the fact that they played in a relatively weak conference, to amass this record? Are they good enough to be the favorite to win the NCAA?
Yeah, they are. I'm not. We all have different opinions, and a respected Las Vegas odds maker said, I think last week, that there'd be like 17 teams he'd favor over Wichita State. I think he's way off on that. Way off on that. I wouldn't make more than 4 or 5 teams favored over them. Let me give you a little reasoning here. Number one, I know they've played a weak schedule. They've obliterated everybody they've played. It'd be one thing if they were just squeezing by in these games. They're killing these teams. They've had like one close game the entire season in the Missouri Valley Conference. I think Missouri State took them to overtime the first time they played. This is a veteran team that, by the way, was in the Final Four last year. They've got a major chip on their shoulder because of the fact that they know they're not getting what they perceive as the right respect nationally, so they come to play every night. And, just because a team, the last team to go into the tournament unbeaten, going to go back a ways, UNLV, which also played in a very soft conference. They were in the PCAA back then. All right? That wasn't a good conference. They were in a conference with Pacific, that type of team. Irvine, I think Irvine was the conference. I'm forgetting the teams that were in the league, but I know Pacific isn't. This wasn't a good league. And that UNLV, they got talent and they're exciting, but they don't play anybody. And they won the national championship. And then the next year, next year, they should have won the national championship. Wichita State. Now, I'm not saying Wichita State is as good as that UNLV team, which had 4 players drafted in the first round, but they're good. They're really good. They're extremely well coached, and they're motivated. I think they're a Final Four team. I absolutely think they're a number 1 seed. And, if they lose, I'll be wrong. But here's the thing. I was kind of right about them last year. Because if you go back and look at my tournament plays last year, I kept playing Wichita State. And paid a little money with that team. So I'm going to say I know what I'm talking about with the Shockers. They're legit.
Well, I agree that they're legit. There's no question they're going to have to step up in class to play some of the better teams. But you can only play the teams that are on your schedule. So, and they've done that. And as you say, nobody really gets close to them. They blow everybody away. So I think they're going to go. As far as conference tournaments, I believe that they are the largest favorite to win their conference tournament of any conference favorite out there. So they just dominate everybody in their league. So it should be a cakewalk for them. Obviously, the lines are going to be large, and unless they mess up and come in unfocused, they're going to win theirs.
Yeah, the only thing they've got working against them, but they had this working against them last year, and it didn't seem to impact them, is that the Missouri Valley Conference is one of the first tournaments. So they're going to have a long break between the end of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament and the beginning of the NCAA tournament. And, the pressure could build on them, and that's the one difference between this year and last year. They didn't have that pressure on them last year. They didn't have the expectations. They will this year. So that could impact them. But the good news is they're going to get to face a 16 seed in the first round, which is a bye. Okay? They're not losing to a 16 seed. And then they're going to face a winner of an 8-9 matchup in the second round, which is going to be a good team, but not a great team. So their road to the Sweet 16 isn't going to be difficult. And by that time, they'll have shaken off any rust that they have. So the only thing I would say is that they might not be a great point spread play at the outset of the NCAA tournament because of the potential rust factor. But once they get through the first 2 rounds, that's no longer it's just not any part of the equation. And you could end up getting value on this team come Sweet 16, where the disrespect starts to enter the picture once again. Be really interesting to see what happens.
If you ever get them as a small favorite or a small dog, they're definitely a take. Is there anybody in this tournament, the Missouri Valley tournament, that you would say has the best chance of beating them if they happen to have a little bit of an off night? Would it be Missouri State or Indiana State? Who would it be?
No, I don't think they can lose. I actually, anybody can lose any game. Right. But to me, Indiana State would have to play a perfect game, and they haven't had many of those lately. Indiana State is actually not playing particularly well down the stretch. That's the thing. Indiana, the closest competitors, they're all playing lousy. So I guess I'd say Indiana State, but I think Wichita State's double digits over anybody, so it's going to be an enormous upset at this point. And I just don't think the makeup of this team is going to allow them to lose. Greg Marshall does a great job. This guy's a phenomenal coach going back to his days in the Big South at Winthrop. He's a great coach. And the team they just got such a chip on their shoulder. Jim, I can't see them coming into any game unprepared. You would have thought that might have happened this past Saturday against Missouri State.
Well, yeah, and actually, I did. I thought taking 17 was kind of a gift. I didn't think they were going to come in there that focused, and it wasn't a problem for them.
No, hell, I mean, the final score was like 21-25, but it could have been 40. And I had the same team. I took Missouri State plus the points, and it's like we were in that game until the opening tip. That was pretty much it. Okay, I mean, I knew 5 minutes into the game, it's like this is not going to win, and it didn't. So that's the way it goes sometimes. All right, well, let's recap what we got. Jim, let me get out there with you first because great call last weekend with Virginia. That was so impressive. Just absolutely annihilated Syracuse in that spot. And a lot of the sharp money came on Syracuse. It wasn't very sharp, was it? And now more big stuff coming this weekend.
Well, I guess the sharp money looked decent at halftime because the game was close, but in the second half, Virginia just tuned it up. I mean, that's a team that one of these days we need to talk about because they have had one hell of an impressive season, and almost nobody talks about Virginia. I mean, all they do is win. But I have a big package this weekend, 3-team college basketball parlay going on Saturday. That includes my rivalry game of the year. It's a $200 package. All 3 games for $9. That's right, $9 grocery dollars. You just call 1-866-841-1655, and you get a high roller game included tonight if you call right now. And the guarantee is all 3 games must win, or you play the rest of the tourney for free. $9 with a guarantee and a high roller. 1-866-841-1655.
John, Mr. Vegas, good stuff. Dog of the month on Wisconsin. They didn't need the points at Iowa. That was an impressive performance by the Badgers. A couple of really big games going this weekend.
That's right, a pair of games of the month. You can also get his package right through April 7th. $35 you play right through April 7th. Plays every day, including those 2 games of the month going this weekend from Mr. Vegas. 1-866-896-1627.
All right, well, I'm going to have some real big games coming up. But right now, what I want to try and do is to get as many of you guys in on the ground floor, what I think is a dynamite special. The ground floor being the start of the baseball season and the end of the college basketball season. This is an extraordinary offer, and it spans basically 2 months, which is incredible. You're going to get my March Madness package. Now that by itself it sells for over $100, but you're going to get it included here along with the first month of the baseball season, and I love coming out of the gate in baseball. If you look back at my April numbers in baseball over the years, boy, they're good. Okay? And part of the reason is I'm the idiot who actually tapes exhibition games. Okay? I do. I mean, I'm not making this up. The Oscars the other night Everybody's watching the Oscars. I'm watching the replay of a Major League Baseball exhibition game. Look, the Oscars aren't going to make me any money. Baseball is. So here's what you're going to get. And besides which, I haven't seen the movies anyway. But anyway, you're going to get the March Madness package. Every action play I've got right through the NCAA tournament final on April 7th. And that'll include my tournament game of the year, plus the first month of the baseball season. All my action plays in baseball for an entire month. The total cost of this is $49. It's just, to me, I can't think of a single reason why not to take advantage of this and find out for yourself how good I am early in the season in baseball and late in the season in college basketball. 1-866-896-1629 is the number to call. That's 1-866-896-1629. Got any parting shots, Jim? Any words of wisdom?
Well, since you haven't seen any of the movies, I saw Dallas Buyers Club, and it's a depressing subject, but as is 12 years a slave. But Matthew McConaughey definitely deserved that award, and he did a great speech as well at the ceremony. But his acting in that movie was absolutely incredible, absolutely, and he lost like 80 pounds to play the role. So it was an incredible acting performance. As far as basketball is concerned, we've been doing this a long time, guys, and this is a great time. I'm winning. I mean, I bumped my nose a little bit a couple times on Saturdays, a couple times, but when you talk, I'm winning like 6 days a week, and it's been an incredible, profitable run, and I expect it to continue not only this week but into the tournaments as we go forward. So you definitely want to be involved, and just come to the website, jimfeist.com, and we have a lot of things going on in there, so stay in touch.
By the way, I have bet on Nebraska, even though I did not see the movie. About as close to the Oscars as I'm going to get this year. All right, that's it. We're done. We'll come back and do this again next week. We're going to continue to come at you with these throughout the tournament. We don't do Pro Line in the summer with just baseball, but we do it right through the tournament. So, make sure to check in next week, find out what the great offers are. We'll try and impart a little good advice, hopefully, here on the program, and hopefully you'll enjoy watching it. For John Creighton and Jim Feist, I'm Dave Koch, and thanks a lot for watching. Win your bets, and we'll talk to you later.